Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm Dr. Bhawani Adhikari. Today, I have brought the grammar unit, and the topic of the grammar is active and passive voice. It is useful for all the students to all levels from any classes. Let's start some of the ideas how active and passive tenses are used and what the active and passive voices are. ल एक्टिभ र प्यासिभ भोइस के हो भन्ने बुझ्ने यसलाई सिन्सियरली अलिकता व्याख्या गरेको छु एक्टिभ एन्ड प्यासिभ भोइस एक्टिभ भोइस इज डाइरेक्ट फर्म अफ ल्याङ्ग्वेज यो डाइरेक्ट हो सिधै बोल्ने भाषा हो प्यासिभ भोइस इज इन्डाइरेक्ट फर्म अफ ल्याङ्ग्वेज पोलाइट हो इन्डाइरेक्ट हो एक्टिभ भोइस इज इम्पोलाइट फर्म अफ ल्याङ्ग्वेज एक्टिभ चाहिँ इम्पोलाइट हुन्छ बट प्यासिभ भोइस इज पोलाइट फर्म अफ ल्याङ्ग्वेज प्यासिभ ल्याङ्ग्वेज नै ओ स्ट्रक्चर चाहिँ पोलाइट हुन्छ Passive voice creates confusion to understand the intended ideas of the speaker, and the listener may misunderstand the intended meaning. किन भन्दा प्यासिभमा अलिकता मिनिङ नबुझ्न सक्छन् अलिक कठिन हुन्छ यसको इन्टेन्डेड मिनिङ नबुझ्न सक्छ जस्तै हि इज प्लेड फुटबल भन्दा उसले फुटबल खेल्यो होइन उसलाई फुटबल खेलियो ऊ चाहिँ भकुण्डो भयो द्याट इज द मिनिङ हि इज प्लेड फुटबल मिन्स द स्ट्रक्चर इज प्यासिभ बट he has become the football and somebody has played him as football so people understand that he played football or he has played football so this type of confusion takes place in passive voice passive voice is the language of research यसलाई रिसर्चको भाषा भनिन्छ but at present even active voice is used as a language of research active voice is easy to understand अलि सजिलो हुन्छ and the speakers intended meaning बुझ्न active voice सजिलो हुन्छ active voice is the direct form of speech हो active voice is the day-to-day language of this communication बोल्दाखेरि डे टु डे प्रयोग गरिन्छ सो एक्टिभ भोइस इज एन इन्फर्मल फर्म अफ स्पिच पनि हो एक्टिभ एन्ड प्यासिभ फर्म अफ द भोइस इज मेड एकोर्डिङ टु द टेन्स टेन्स अनुसार हुन्छ जुन टेन्समा एक्टिभ छ त्यही टेन्समा प्यासिभ हुन्छ अर्कोमा चेन्ज भएको हुँदैन while changing the voice we ought not to change the tense change गर्नु हुँदैन हामीले and it must be in the same tense प्यासिभमा पनि एउटै टेन्स हुनुपर्छ टेन्स फरक हुनु हुँदैन we are starting now passive active and passive example said subject b1 b5 and object that active voice in simple present tense हो यो simple present tense मा b1 b5 means base form of the verb or singular form of the verb लाई भन्छ b5 verb मा sys लाग्यो भने active that one passive मा चाहिँ के हो subject is mr मध्ये कुनै एउटा and past participle by object passive form of simple present tense spt means simple present tense example coronavirus kills a man यो kills means b5 यो कोरोना भाइरसले मान्छेलाई मार्छ एक्टिभ भोइस अफ सिम्पल प्रेजेन्ट टेन्स एसपीटी man is killed by a coronavirus कोरोना भाइरसले मार्छ मान्छेलाई द्याट इज द मिनिङ अगाडि पनि कोरोना भनेको भए राम्रो हुन्थ्यो यहाँनिर एउटा कोरोना भाइरस मात्रै हो तर प्यासिभमा चाहिँ भयो अगाडि पनि हुनु पर्थ्यो यो को काम छैन यो स्ट्रक्चर माथिको एक सब्जेक्टमा नभएको हुनाले राख्यो भने द्याट इज गुड सब्जेक्ट डु डज नट एउटा कुनै मध्ये b1 अब्जेक्ट हुन्छ एक्टिभ भोइस सिम्पल प्रेजेन्ट टेन्स एसपीटी मिन्स subject is mr and with her past participle of the verb by an object passive voice simple present tense को spt भनेको simple present tense he does not speak english language active voice हो does not हो speak b1 भइगयो right active मा b1 speak अनिखेर the english language object हो english language is not spoken by him does not simple present भएको हुनाले is not spoken by him that is passive one present continuous tense को passive त्यसमा इजएमआर भर्बमा आइएनजी अथवा बिफोर अर अब्जेक्ट एक्टिभ भोइस इजएमआर बिइङ गरिन्छ जब आइएनजी भएपछि पास्ट पार्टिसिपल बाई एन अब्जेक्ट प्यासिभ भोइसमा राम इज स्पिकिङ द इङ्ग्लिस ल्याङ्ग्वेज इन द क्लास भन्यो एक्टिभ भन्यो इजएमआर इज छ स्पिकिङ भबमा आइएनजी छ द इङ्ग्लिस अब्जेक्ट भयो ल्याङ्ग्वेज इन द क्लास भनेको प्लेस भयो इङ्ग्लिस ल्याङ्ग्वेज इज बिइङ आइएनजी भएको हुनाले बिइङ स्पोकन बाई राम इन द क्लास रामद्वारा बोलिँदैछ इट इज प्रेजेन्ट कन्टिन्युस द एक्सन इज बिइङ spoken so present continuous को passive right present perfect tense को passive subject have has past participle and object have has र present third हो भने past participle हो भने that is present perfect tense अनि त्यसलाई active भन्यो अब subject have has been जब been हुन्छ passive भइहाल्छ past participle by an object Ram has spoken the English language. Has spoken. Have मध्ये has मध्ये कुनै एउटा रामसँग has आउने भयो they have spoken English हुन्छ अनि Ram has spoken the English language active voice passive the English language द पनि आउनु पर्थ्यो त्यहाँ द मिस भएछ the English language द also should come there before English the English language has been spoken by Ram द हुँदैन यो पछाडि by Ram मात्रै हुन्छ by the Ram होइन this Ram should be capital the should be omitted there माथि द छैन there is a mistake this the should be omitted and Ram should be written R capital because it is the name of a person right passive voice मा यहाँनिर द आउने मिस्टेक भयो राम पनि क्यापिटल दलाई हटाउनु पर्छ द चाहिँ इङ्ग्लिसको अगाडि आउनु पर्छ है that is the mistake right is mr to and then b1 and is also simple present tense so you need to use be प्रयोग गर्नुपर्छ to change into passive in such sentences यस्तोमा be को प्रयोग गर्नुपर्छ एक्जाम्पलहरु subject is mr to b1 object active subject is mr to be past participle by and then object that is passive he should be capital letter he is to play football active football is to be played by him this is the right one passive one यस्तो चाहिँ हुन्छ he लाई capital बनाउनु पर्थ्यो small letter भएछ that is mistake students are to eat apples these days active भयो अब passive मा apples plural छ are to be eaten by the students these days that is passive I am to write a letter today active voice a letter object is to be written by me today that is passive one have to be one and has to be one is also simple present tense यो पनि simple present हो subject has to be one and object active voice passive मा subject have to has to be and past participle by an object that is passive यहाँ पनि he capital हुनुपर्ने there should be letter he in capital he has to play football today active voice and football has to be played by him today that is passive note present perfect continuous tense cannot change into passive present perfect continuous tense चाहिँ has been playing football passive मा change हुँदैन right exercise for practice now what happens how we practice that okay exercise there is a exercise see the exercise change the following sentences into passive they do not like me passive मा हुन्छ I am not liked by them लेखेको हुन्छ नलेखेको हुन्छ I am not liked or I am not liked by them do not present I subject am not liked by them he does not play football football is not played by him अब do does लाई हटाएर इजएमआर प्रयोग गरिन्छ he eats a lot of mangoes every day a lot of mangoes are eaten by her every day she eats भयो नि त eats the present भयो नि त before त्यसले गर्दा a lot of mangoes are mangoes plural भयो नि त त्यसले गर्दा are a lot of mangoes are eaten by her every day he is writing an essay now an essay is being written by him now present continuous and the being and then written because it is present continuous and when there is continuous we use being and past participle we are learning English online class भनेपछि अब के भयो English is being learned by us online class यसो भन्दा अब right? The world has to face the coronavirus. The coronavirus has to be faced by the world. यसरी the coronavirus अनि has to be faced FACED by the world. I have written a book in English, right? A book has been written by me in English. यसरी भनिन्छ. A book has been written, bookसँग has हुने भयो, a book, and has been written by me in English. This is how we can change passive from active tense. एक्टिभबाट प्यासिभमा यसरी ल्याइन्छ. यो प्रेजेन्ट टेन्सको मात्र भयो. अब पास्ट टेन्सको फ्युचर टेन्सको पनि प्यासिभ भोइस बाँकी छ, अरू पनि हुन्छ. Right? So this is only the active and passive of present tense. Right? So it is useful for all the students who want to learn grammar. I hope it is meaningful for you. Listen it, see the structure, and then keep in the mind, listen more and do the practice.